Arlo was reluctant to return to his bed, wondering how long he must wait to hunt again. The booming footsteps that woke him this time were nothing like those of his father. He had found his father. The warden stood alone, holding back a whole Darkwing army, their cruel Count Kazak leading them. His father charged, but the Darkwing Count was as fast as he was strong. The Winter's crown tumbled to Arlo's feet, now without a head to rest on. There was no time to grieve his father, as from above the Count revealed his greatest weapon, a sky scorcher. Not a fairy's tale, but an undead beast whose very breath could level kingdoms. And its eye was trained on Arlo. All that came next was a fog of bloodlust, snapping jaws, and the beating of leathery wings. But there could be no victory. Arlo awoke, groggy and warm to his father's shouts. Only he wasn't in bed. The warmth was from the fire that had engulfed Winter's Edge, and the shouts were his uncle's. The only other survivor of the Darkwing attack, Leaf was bruised and his hind paws barely steady. He'd seen villagers flee to the outskirts. Arlo knew it was up to him to make them safe. He'd know these anywhere. Krunk's smithy hammer and Hilda's chef's knife. Arlo wondered why they would leave them here. With the attack at Winter's Edge, no hunters had come to check their traps. Arlo thought he might find a use for them. Arlo had found the reason his friends had fled. The taunting shrieks revealed that this was Baron Frostovic, son of the Darkwing who took his father, and therefore a perfect target for his revenge. His foe was beaten, but seeing what had been inflicted on Hilda and Krunk, Arlo's need for vengeance was only growing. Arlo suddenly wished to be within the walls of Winter's Edge, to hear the boot and boom of his father at dawn, a sound he realized he'd never hear again. He needed to return to whatever was left and make his plan. Spent from his journey, Arlo fell into his father's chair, the one thing still standing in the ashy ruin. It was his chair now, along with the title of Warden of the Wastes. Arlo's shoulders slumped at the weight of it, but only for a moment. The dark wings had nearly scorched the ratdom to ash before, and now it was for him to stop them. He was going to rebuild Winter's Edge, a beacon of hope from which to drive back the shadow. This much Arlo knew. No rat would rebuild Winter's Edge on an empty stomach. The kitchen had to be fixed and stocked. Leaf suggested Arlo visit the Night Eyes of the Golden Forest, known for their hearty food. Arlo hoped rat wasn't the key ingredient. The smoke had attracted help in the unlikely form of a pirate. Captain Blacktail had seen many towns razed in his years, usually by his own paw, a fact he chose not to mention as he offered his services. The ship King Rattus's Revenge would take the young warden wherever he had need to go.